The Polaroid Flip. Wait, hang on, that's not it. The Polaroid Flip. Yeah. The long-awaited review from me. I've heard you. Read the comments, I've gotten the messages. And here it is. We're gonna find out in today's video what it's all about. We're gonna do a little in-depth look, learn about what it's capable of, and look at some photos. It's gonna be an interesting one. Let's get into it.
You know the type of guy that was a jock in high school but ended up becoming a huge nerd? You know, someone that's not afraid to make a fool of themselves on the internet. And someone that likes to shoot Polaroid a little too much. Did I say huge nerd? You know, just an ordinary, everyday guy. Well, that's me. I'm just another Chris.
Right out of the gate, I want to let you know this was not sent to me for review by Polaroid. I am not affiliated with Polaroid whatsoever. In fact, I didn't purchase this because one of you lovely viewers did and wanted me to do a review on it. So this popped into the P.O. box. Shout out to you, Bliss. I appreciate you. Now that that is out of the way, let's learn about this. Should you buy it? This is Polaroid's middle ground camera now. It's not the flagship, but it's not the low-end one. There's the Polaroid Go, which is Polaroid's lowest price or entry point into their film. And I love this thing. I need to do more videos about it. Everyone should have one of these. It's pretty fun. Next up from there is the Polaroid Now. Yeah, it retails for $120. Then there's the Polaroid Now Plus. That's the next one up. Then we have the Polaroid Flip coming in for $200. And it's a website exclusive or a members exclusive on Polaroid's website, but you can become a member for free. So just sign up and you can purchase it. At the day of the recording of this, that's the only way you can get it. And lastly, the flagship camera is the Polaroid i2 coming in at, well, I don't really know, to be honest. Polaroid keeps changing the price of this thing. It came out for $600, which I did purchase this for that much. But over the last few months, it's been going up and down on their website. I saw this as low as $300. Well, no, $325, I think it was. Either way, this is their flagship camera. Now, I don't really do unboxings here on this channel. I kind of skip that part because who cares? But this one is worth mentioning. In the box, it does come with a strap, which is nice. And I actually really love Polaroid's neck straps. They're really comfortable. They're a little short, I wish they're a little bit longer, but I do enjoy them. And that's pretty much all you get. No charger, which is okay, it's just a USB-C cable. For me, this camera I think came out of nowhere. It just seems almost unnecessary, to be honest, because this camera already exists. This is the Sun 660. The only real difference is this has a built-in battery and Bluetooth connectivity. You can connect to your phone, which I'm actually going to do a side-by-side comparison of these cameras in the near future. It does have this pretty cool little display on the top of the flash. And the cool part about this camera, it does have 4 lenses on the inside, zone focused lenses, so you're gonna get a little bit better range for your shots. And it uses autofocus to do that via sonar. Another interesting choice. And it is an I-type camera, so it does have the internal battery that's not replaceable. It has a tripod mount on the bottom because you do have some cool features like self-timer and a lot of options in the app that you don't have directly on the camera itself, which we'll get into in a second. But to turn it on, you just flip up the camera and it turns itself on. It defaults to the flash on. But here's a lesser known fact. To turn the flash off, you simply press the flash button on the back and you take a picture, and guess what? The flash comes back on. But if you want to take a picture without the flash on as the second shot, it's simple as this. Double tap the flash button and the flash is off, and when you take a picture, the flash won't come back on. Pretty cool. Now the button above the flash button is kind of your modes. You press it and you get a self timer. Press it again, it goes off. Now, if you press and hold it, that's where your exposure compensation is. It'll start flashing and you'll see a little dash line. The dash line is just neutral, right in the middle. Tap it again, it goes +1, meaning the photo will be brighter. Press it again and it will go -1 on the low end there, meaning a little bit darker, which is great for highlights on a bright sunny day. Now with the same exact button, if you double tap it, you will get a double exposure. Now when you're in double exposure, you can still set exposure compensation. Just press and hold the same button and you'll get the exposure compensation options available, and you can just set it to what you want. So you can use it in conjunction. And when you close the flash, it turns off. And when you turn it back on, everything will be reset. Another really cool little feature that this camera has, and that is what they're calling exposure feedback. Meaning, let's say I turn the flash off and I'm gonna take a picture without the flash. Now, it's pretty bright in here because I have all the studio lights on, but if I were to point this kind of in a dark area, like the floor, half press the shutter button, a little red light comes on at the viewfinder, which is right next to your eye. It's kind of blinding right in the eye. I'll know that the photo isn't exposed properly. And it will flash up here what it needs to be done, meaning use exposure comp to go up or down. I like that feature. Is it accurate though? I don't know, because I really haven't tested it yet. But it's there, it does have it. That is all the features of this camera that you have control of on board the camera itself, meaning just by pressing buttons. You can unlock more features in the app. So let's go and take a look at the app itself, see what it has to offer. Before we take a look at the app, I noticed something about this camera, and maybe it's just me, but the viewfinder looks very small, like narrow. Like the field of view is really tight, and the positioning of the viewfinder is awkward. Here's the Now Plus Gen 1, and I can already see that there's a huge difference. With the flip, they've squished the camera down, so it's a little smaller, which could be a plus for like travel and whatnot, but it makes it so much more difficult. I shouldn't say so much more difficult. It makes it a little bit more uncomfortable. That's probably a more accurate statement. To look through the viewfinder, this is so natural. Look at that, it's comfortable. My face isn't jamming into the back of the camera. Now, when I look through the flip, it hits my cheekbone before I can even look through the viewfinder, and I have to kind of angle my head downwards to look. It's just kind of uncomfortable. Notice the positioning right here. As I'm bringing the camera up, I'm viewing through it perfectly. This isn't being pushed into my face really at all. Really comfortable. And it lines up with my eye perfectly. Now let's take a look at the flip. I can't even see through it yet. And the distance between the eyes is pretty far. I have to kind of lean my head into it. Actually, I kind of have to lift this up. I don't know, nitpicky, but something I noticed. All right, let's look at the app. Add another camera. I will say their Bluetooth app is one of the best I've used. It's fast, quick, it's really nice. Now that we're in the app, we can unlock the manual control features that this camera has to offer. You can control the camera manually like you would the i2, and you can also control the focus settings, so you can fix it at, let's say, close range. Now within the app, this is kind of across all Polaroid cameras. It's not really necessarily a secret, but it gets overlooked, and that is the flash control. But when you tap it, you have full range of flash control. And what that means is you can set the intensity, which you can't do on any of the physical cameras itself. We've got self timer, we've got double exposure, and auto eject. Now that is kind of a cool feature because not only can you do double exposure, you can kind of do unlimited. Because you just keep taking pictures and it just will never eject. But in addition to that, let's say you're outside and it's pretty cold outside, or even hot, let's say, and you can take your picture and you can have the photo not eject. Then you can take the camera into a cooler place. Let's say into your car with air conditioner running, or just into your house, or flipped, have the heater running. Let the camera kind of warm back up and eject your photo then, and have it develop in proper temperature so you don't get those color shifts that you can with hot and cold weather. So it's a cool feature. And honestly, all cameras have that within the app only. So the One Step Plus, the Now Plus series, and i2, and of course now the Flip program. So what that is, it's just continuous exposure, really. So wherever you point this, the sensor on the camera is going to feed back to this. Editor Chris here, or I should say future Chris. I was looking more into that program feature. I was confused by it. After I shot the video, I was like, what the heck is this? I look into it more, and it doesn't make any freaking sense whatsoever. According to this, the Polaroid's program mode feature, accessible through the Polaroid app, is a semi-automatic shooting mode. I thought maybe aperture priority, or maybe doing some type of shutter priority mode. In this mode, the camera automatically adjusts settings like
aperture and shutter speed. Okay, never mind, it's auto. Here's a more detailed explanation. Semi-automatic. The camera handles the technical aspects like aperture and shutter speed, but the user still has control over the subject. What the freak is that? What does that even mean? That's just auto mode. So yeah, to be honest, this one has me completely stumped. There's auto mode, and then there's semi-automatic mode that's still automatic. I don't know. Leave a comment. Let me know, because I'm really confused.
Yeah, so I've only been able to shoot a handful of photos at the date of the recording of this video just because the weather's been really spotty. Had a few minutes here and there when there's actually sun. I don't really want to go out there and shoot on overcast days because that's not going to really yield the best results. And I'll show you a couple that I tried. It's not going to show this camera off in the best way possible. Having overcast kind of tricks the camera into thinking it could be brighter or could be darker, so you're not going to get the right exposure. So that's not a real gauge of being able to test this camera properly. So keep that in mind. But there was a little bit of sun, so I did go out and try and shoot a couple photos before it just started pouring down raining. And I gotta say, the photos, they're fine. I mean, they're not like spectacular. It's not no wow factors. They just kind of look like standard Polaroid photos. And that's not a bad thing, right? That's kind of what you're probably looking for. But I will say the highlights are better preserved than like the Polaroid Now Plus Gen 1 and Gen 2s. I didn't use any exposure comp for these photos because I want to test this camera in its natural state. And it performed well. I say it's a pass. But yeah, they kind of look just like standard photos. Nothing too spectacular. However, throughout the day, I did get a couple misses. This truck here, it's out of focus. This thing missed autofocus. It chose the wrong lens. And this thing was, I don't know, 20 feet away, maybe. So it should have just shot at infinity, but it used one of the closer lenses. So it's blurry. And this photo is kind of dark. So it got the wrong exposure. It did that a couple more times. With this tractor and this like barn, but I will say it is overcast, and that could have tricked the sensor of the camera into thinking that the scene is really, really bright, and so it fired the shutter a lot faster, and so I got a darker image. That's why I didn't want to shoot on overcast days. So it's hard to tell for sure of those results with this camera. Now this is probably my favorite. I like this one, the truck and the flowers. It is a little dark though, and I didn't use any exposure comp, and it wasn't overcast, so that's also kind of worrisome. And I shot one indoors of me. I wanted to test the flash and the focus, and it missed. It's blurry. And I held this out, at arm's length, and it should have been using the close-up lens, which is 0.4 to 0.8 meters, I believe. And it's blurry, so that's a little frustrating. And I screwed this one up. And what that means is I was using exposure comp because I wanted to see what I could do utilizing some settings, and I forgot to turn the flash off, and so it threw off the test. Part of it's really, really dark. But I wanted to test the chain link fence and the sonar autofocus to see what it would focus on, and also test the exposure. So these are just a handful of kind of first impressions, first look, and I will say majoritively they passed. I'm going to do a much more real world review of this coming really soon. The weather should be getting a lot better in the next couple of days, so I'll be properly testing this out when it clears up. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully this video has cleared up some questions for you and maybe some buying decisions. Are you going to get it, or are you going to pass on it? Let me know in the comments below. But until next time, get out there, make some art.